Okay, what is happening with crypto right now? We're going to talk about what we think is happening, what we think is going to happen, and we've got some exciting news to share with you guys towards the end of the video. Now, Bitcoin is in a confirmed bear trend right now. We look like we had a bit of strength here, but as we can see, we've pulled back 2% today. We can see some altcoins over here bleeding. This is because Bitcoin has dumped $1,800 in just 20 minutes after the news of US-Iran talks ending without an agreement. So basically, Vance just walked out of peace talks in Pakistan. He did a 4-minute press conference and said there's no deal with Iran. So since late February, US and Israel have bombed Iran's nuclear sites, and Iran retaliated by closing the Strait of Hormuz, which is basically the most important shipping lane in the world for oil. It's where 20% of the world's oil comes through. And because of this, oil prices went through the roof and markets tanked. A ceasefire was called so both sides could sit down and negotiate. Vance flew to Pakistan to lead these talks, and the market's been ripping all week. The S&P was up something like 3%, Nasdaq up 4%, all in the expectations of an agreement coming. But we didn't get that agreement, and that's why it's super important to follow the trend. We are in a bearish trend, and we are also range bound between about 74,000, between about here, and between about 66,000 about here. We are range bound here, and we are in a bearish trend. So there is no reason to be looking for entries unless we are in a bullish trend. That's why we like to use the Summit Cloud. We do have some strong alts, like Hype is still in a strong bullish trend. But this is all because of these talks, so avoid the news, follow the trend. But something we do think will lead to some bullish flips and some altcoins is the Clarity Act. There's a lot of talks about the Clarity Act right now. Basically, the problem right now in crypto is no one actually knows the rules, especially institutions. If you're a crypto project or an exchange operating in the US, you don't know if your token gets treated as a security regulated by the SEC or a commodity regulated by the CFTC. And that grey area has caused years of chaos. The SEC just suing everyone instead of writing actual rules. So a lot of institutions have been waiting for this act to pass. And it's taken a while. But Brian Armstrong here, he's quote tweeted Scott Bessent. Scott Bessent was basically saying that it's time to put this on Trump's desk. So where are we with the Clarity Act? The House already passed it back in July last year, but it's been stuck in the Senate because banks and crypto companies were fighting over basically stablecoin yield. Whether platforms can pay you a return for holding stablecoins, and banks hate it because they're scared of people pulling their deposits out to chase better returns elsewhere. This week, the White House dropped a report showing a yield ban would cost consumers $800 million and do basically nothing for the banks. That pretty much killed the bank's main argument. So this is great. We want to see this act pass, and hopefully we will soon. It looks like it's really getting there. So that'll be awesome. So something more from the macro environment. This is Raoul Pal talking about liquidity, and I do agree with this. I mean, we follow the trend, but here's right, trying not to overthink it. The liquidity is coming. Basically what he's saying here is, despite all the noise, there's actually a macro thesis building for the conditions of a bull market. He's saying that liquidity is basically just money supply. How much money is flowing through the financial system? When liquidity rises, that money has to go somewhere. It has to go into risk assets like stocks, commodities, crypto, and there's a specific measure called the M2. This is how much money sits in the economy. Right now, the M2 is rising in the US, rising globally, and rising in China all at the same time. And that's a lot of new money entering the system simultaneously looking for a new home. So on top of that, we have the ISM Rising, and that measures manufacturing activity, which is going up, which means economies are expanding, businesses are producing more, and things are moving. So basically, yeah, more money in the system, economies expanding at the same time, and historically that's the setup for risk assets to run. The ingredients are there, and that's exactly why we think there's a big macro thesis behind it, but we are just waiting for the trend to flip. Hype's an outlier, but all of these alts, we're in bearish trends. So we think it's coming, but we're waiting for a bullish flip. That's why we love to use the cloud. Now, quickly, I do want to show you, we have a 30-day free trial. Wow. So if you sign up for the cloud or the Summit Asset Scanner, what the Summit Asset Scanner is it uses the cloud, but instead of having to flick through, all of these charts and look at the cloud, you can go here and you get notifications when something flips bullish. So 2 days ago, we have E&J up 12%. You can click through bullish and bearish trends through daily and weekly timeframes, through crypto, stocks, commodities, ETFs. You can search specific assets. There's heaps of ETFs in here. So you've got thousands of assets in one place. This just makes it so much easier to navigate. We're super proud of this. We use this a lot, and everyone seems to be loving it. So if you want to give this a go, we have a free trial. Anytime you sign up between now and June 1st, you'll get 30 days of a free trial. So you got 49 days and 8 hours. Make the most of this. This won't be coming back. And yeah, we love the product. We use it all the time. And this is what we're waiting for. We're waiting for flips on the Summit Cloud. We're waiting for notifications to come through the scanner so that we can see when stuff flips bullish, because we know we were anticipating all of this good news, but it's not coming. So we're following the trend. Crypto is in a tough spot right now. We think long term the liquidity is coming, but right now it's just not there. So it's important to follow the trend. And that's what we're waiting for. We're hoping this Clarity Act passes to see some altcoins go, and we're hoping Bitcoin can go. Another interesting thing with Bitcoin and the Shredder for Moose before we end it up is that it's $2 million in Bitcoin or yuan to get through the Shredder for Moose. So Bitcoin is getting some real use case here, which could be good for Bitcoin. And even with this bad news, the dip isn't really that, it's 2%. I mean, Bitcoin is still holding pretty strong right now. But again, like I said, we want to see this flip bullish. Now, if you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, please subscribe, and yeah, make the most of this free trial, because this won't be around forever. You can try it out free for 30 days. If you like it, like we like it, that's great. And if you don't, you don't. 30 days free trial. Get the Summit Asset Scanner and the Summit Cloud. Thank you for watching.